Hurricane Irma remains a strong storm. We can expect, based on current models, a Cat 1 late Sunday to early morning, Monday, into Monday, and we'll have Angie with the National Weather Service give us very specifics on that here in a few minutes. If anybody in Jacksonville has any issues, please call 630-CITY. You can also go to jacksready.com. You can download the app as well. Jacksonville will likely experience the worst of the storm Sunday night into Monday morning. To that end, non-essential city employees will not be working Monday. We will close city offices for non-essential employees on Monday. If your normal city service is on Monday, garbage, debris, whatever it is, it will not be picked up Monday. We're moving everything back a day. So if it's a Monday pickup, move it to Tuesday. If it's a Tuesday pickup, move it to Wednesday. Although the beaches will likely experience the strongest winds, we should expect to have strong winds over the entire county. To that end, the beaches are going to impose a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. beginning Saturday. Again, that is a beaches curfew issued by all of the beaches mayors. The storm will also bring heavy rains, storm surge along the beaches, and potential major flooding near our rivers. Strong storms like Irma can also produce tornadoes. If you have no other options, we are opening shelters at 10 a.m. this morning. Please bring what you can to a shelter. Any food, water, or bedding, if you have it, please bring it with you to the shelter. If you are in a low-lying area prone to flooding or in a mobile or manufactured home, Zone A or B, you need to evacuate before tomorrow night. This is a mandatory evacuation. A point for businesses: if you have a business in an evacuation zone, but you do not live in an evacuation zone and you are not evacuating, you can still operate your business safely today. So as long as you need to operate your business, if you don't live in that evac zone, you can continue to operate your business and serve people. As you get on the roadways, I would remind you something to what the governor said yesterday. Yes, this will not be traffic that's moving 60 miles per hour. It will be moving slow, although it's flowing. And we understand it's not convenient, but this is not, evacuations are not about convenience. They're about making sure that you're safe. If you are in an evacuation zone, understand you cannot count on service during a storm, public safety service, electricity. Any number of things can be happening during a storm without an answer if you're in an evacuation zone. We should all plan for power outages. Today is the best time to finalize your preparations. The weather will start deteriorating as early as tomorrow. We will likely experience tropical storm winds by Sunday evening. However, it's possible that we will have tropical storm winds by Sunday morning at 8 a.m. That's a possibility. So we are asking everyone to be secure where they're going to be in the storm by 8 p.m. tomorrow night. That's again, by 8 p.m. tomorrow night. If you're not in an evacuation zone, if you're not leaving, if you're going to be in Jacksonville, in Duval County, be in a secure place by 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Today, make sure you secure outdoor items, secure boats, gather foods that do not need refrigeration. Make sure you pick up any prescription medicines or other essential items such as batteries and flashlights. Charge your cell phones. Plan for your children's needs. Make plans for your pets. Check on your neighbors and check on the elderly. Know your evacuation zone. jacksready.com. The media has also done a great job of helping people find their evacuation zones. Please, A, B, mobile homes, low-lying areas, leave today. Be aware, stay informed, and we'll get through this together. You can also use the Gas Buddy app if you're looking for fuel. I understand there are gas stations that don't have fuel right now in Jacksonville. However, we are not out of fuel. If you need to fuel your car, you can go to the Jax Buddy app and find gas in a place in Duval County in Jacksonville. After this, I will be headed to a vulnerable area, an area that's vulnerable in storms, to talk to residents and encourage them to leave. To that end, did the mayors of the beaches have anything to add? And then we'll get an update from...
And then the mandate?
Go.
Okay. The only other two things the beaches have come together to do is, besides the curfew, beginning at 6 o'clock Saturday night, there will be no alcohol sales until a further notice. The other, at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, the beaches will be closed on the beaches. Those are the only two add-ons.
And now, we all are familiar with Angie with the National Weather Service. We're so grateful for her and the information that she gives us to make wise decisions.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. My name is Angie Agnetti. I'm an incident meteorologist with the National Weather Service, and happy again to be deployed here to help us get through Hurricane Irma. As of 8 o'clock this morning, Irma was a Category 4 storm located about 450 miles southeast of Miami. The storm is expected to continue on a northwest track and make landfall across the southern part of the Florida Peninsula. And as the storm tracks northward up the Florida Peninsula towards our area, the storm will gradually weaken, and at this time we're looking for very strong tropical storm force winds to possible category 1 strength winds impacting our area here in Northeast Florida. So with that being said, as the mayor had mentioned, our greatest period of impact for these winds will be Sunday night through Monday. The wind magnitude ranges that we're calling for right now are 60 to 70 miles an hour sustained with gusts up to 80 along the immediate coast, as well as over the St. Johns River. So we will see some strong winds mixing down over the St. Johns River as well, which can push some water into vulnerable areas of downtown Jacksonville. So in addition to surge values on the coast of what we're calling for a 5 to 8 feet potential right now, we're looking for the possibility of surge values of 3 to 6 feet along parts of the St. Johns River as well. So this could be a very significant flooding event for those along the St. Johns River. In terms of rainfall, we're calling for 10 to 15 inches along the immediate coastline with values decreasing inland. And as the mayor also mentioned, there will be the possibility of tornadoes given our position of where the storm tracks. Now, I also want to emphasize this is not a Matthew storm. So any parallels that you have with Matthew, please do not go with them for Irma. We are expecting much more widespread wind damage across the county. With Matthew, our winds were confined along the immediate coast. With Irma, given the westward track, we're looking for these winds to spread farther inland, bringing more impacts such as more tree damage, more road debris, and possibly more structural damage. So the track still can change, but right now we do encourage you to continue to mitigate for strong wind potential as well as the threat of storm surge.
Sheriff, did you have anything?
Just a quick traffic update. So we continue to monitor traffic flow, especially from South Florida, and 95 for us is flowing well right now. So again, as we just issued the mandatory evacuation, if you've waited till today, we still have lots of room on the roadways for people to move, and traffic is flowing heavier than normal, but still flowing. So thank you, man.
And also want to talk a bit about the bridges. That determination is made by FDOT, but it's based on wind speed, which is 40 miles per hour, which is tropical storm winds. So again, based on models, could be as early as Sunday morning. So people need to understand that when the bridges close, it's tough to get services. Any questions?
With mandatory evacuations, obviously there's confusion. People, they're encouraged to go, need to go, but they won't be pulled out of their homes, right? I mean, they can stay if they choose to stay.
They need to leave. I mean, we're not going to ask the sheriff to take resources and send people and pull people out of their homes. That's not going to happen. But when we say mandatory, that's serious. That's really, people need to understand what that means. That means that there won't be services available to them if this storm has the impact that it's projected to have right now.
What's the status of Zone C? You evacuated them last year.
Sure. So last year, in fact, we were having this discussion yesterday and today. Obviously, you look at models, and with Matthew, we were looking at an impact, a much more direct impact with more storm surge. And Angie, do you want to?
Sure, no problem. So in terms of storm surge values of what we're looking at right now for Irma, we're still looking at 5 to 8 feet. We realized 7 feet with Matthew along the coast. The difference right now in the forecast is that with Matthew, we were looking at a potential landfalling storm on our coast, which would help push that water envelope farther inland. Whereas with Irma, there has been a little bit more shift to the west with the track, which would keep the higher values of surge along the immediate coast. There will be elevated water levels in the St. Johns River Basin. That's a different evacuation area. But in terms of the difference in the storms and how the evacuation proceedings went, it's because with Matthew, we were looking for a big push of water potential coming inland with the landfalling storm.
Yeah, so AG, what we did last year and this year when we were thinking about Zone C was literally looked at with the information provided by Angie and the National Weather Service, look at the map and look at those areas and see what potential impact could be. And Matthew suggested much more risk there, much higher risk.
The purpose of suspending alcohol sales in the beach area.
Okay. What was the question, please?
What's the logic or the thinking behind the suspension of alcohol sales?
The logic was very simple. It's public safety. And we visited all of our businesses in Atlantic Beach. I know the other cities are visiting. And I tell you, most of the places said thank you because we're closing Saturday and we'll reopen on Tuesday. So it is a public safety issue is what it is.
Question on the shelters, since they're going to be, or they're opening now. The list of shelters that you put out, are all of those open and do people just show up? What do they need to know?
Director, they are all open.
12 were open this morning.
12 are open this morning. And yes, show up. There's also transportation available, coordinated through JTA and drop stations, and we'll get all that information to the media.
There'll be pickup points. We've had people calling, trying to get special needs, obviously, and they said they call 630 City and they don't get any answers. So is that where they need to call if they need help?
Call 630 City. We have those points now from JTA, and we'll make sure that the folks taking the calls have all that information, and we will also get all of you the information so you can get it out.
Last year during mandatory evacuations, we had heard from JEA that sometimes they had to turn off some service. And is that going to be the case that we're going to see? What's going to happen with that, or can you explain how that would work?
I wouldn't predict that would happen, but things in a storm are unpredictable. The important thing to know about the evacuation zones are services are not available because of storm impact. So people in evacuation zones need to take that seriously.
Do you have an estimation of how many people are affected by the evacuation?
250,000. And people need to understand, as they evacuate, there's other weather happening potentially today and tomorrow that is not related to this storm. So they may experience rain and wind. I don't want people to get on the road tomorrow or today, rather, and think that they're in tropical storm or hurricane type conditions. That's not the case. It may be sloppy, but the storm will not be here based on the model till Sunday.
Could you give us an update on gasoline coming directly to Jacksonville? We talked about this yesterday in the briefing. It seemed like it was going more south in Tampa. So are we seeing more coming in here?
Well, AG, what I said yesterday, and we confirmed this, is locally we don't have a supply issue. We have fuel here. It's a distribution issue, which is getting the fuel in the trucks and getting them to the gas stations. So the latest update that I had was from Public Safety was that about 70% of gas stations in Duval County have fuel. That's what we were told this morning. And the trucks continue within our city to work with the supply that they have to refill. So that's why I suggest people check the app.
Sure, but since people are evacuating, they're obviously going to be concerned about their property. What can they expect from the Sheriff's Department and the Beaches Police? Do they need to worry about that?
So no, you don't need to worry. I've taken some calls this morning about, do I set my alarm? I'm leaving. What do I do? So set your alarm. Do the things you normally do when you leave your house, and know that we've got additional patrols on the street starting Saturday night to really start, being in these neighborhoods and being around. We're always focused on the potential for looting or burglaries, especially in an evacuation area. So we're working closely, especially with the beaches. And we've already got additional resources down there, and that's one of the things that we're focused on.
And I know we asked you this yesterday, but when you evacuate, you can still go back up until a certain point, right? I mean, you can go back.
Well, the idea of evacuating is that you evacuate and you leave and you don't come back. So, we want people to, if they're leaving to evacuate and come back after the storm is over. That's what you want to have happen. But as the mayor mentioned, this mandatory evacuation is more about you being cut off from services that we normally are able to provide. We will not be able to provide that in those areas during peak hours and peak times of the storm. And we want people and encourage people, if you're in these areas, you need to leave.
And the briefing, and you heard some of it here that we got from Angie, I mean, we could see unprecedented flooding based on all the conditions coming together at the same time with tides and the winds and the rain.
And just a clarification, the curfew and the alcohol